So at this point, I've covered 5 DICAS do's and don'ts. There's a lot more to the application than just those 5 things. I know that it's a big application. I've read many of them. So you might be asking yourself, what else? What else do I need to do? If I do those 5 do's and don'ts you just told me, I know there's other parts of the application I might have questions about, or that have their own sets of do's and don'ts, or that I'm going to get to and realize in the middle that I've got something that I need to know to feel confident filling it out. But this is where I can help. I can help you stand out through every section of your DICAS application by sharing my insights from having been on the other side of DICAS and D&D Digital, so you can feel confident about everything that you're putting together, that you can know what directors are looking for. You're not providing them more than they're asking, but they're also not providing them less than they're asking for. You're giving them everything they need to look at your application as a whole and make the decision of whether or not they want to have your name on the match list and that you would be a good fit for their program. It's kind of funny because you as the intern or as the applicant have to decide, would this internship be a good fit for me? And that helps you decide, where are you going to apply? Who are you even going to ask to consider you to be part of their next class? And then when the program gets the applications, they are then asking the same thing. Would this applicant be a good fit for our internship? Would they fit in well with the way we have things set up? Are they going to be a good fit for a distance or face-to-face or a clinical or a master's degree? There's obviously so many different elements that different programs offer, but that's what programs are kind of asking themselves when they look at your application. And you want to make sure that you are proving to them, I will be a good fit. I am the type of intern that you are looking for. And that's what I can help you do with your own DICAS application. So you've got a couple of options moving forward with your application, no matter what type of match, or not what type of match, but which upcoming match you are planning to apply in. You can do it all on your own. You can take your best guess at what directors want to see in your application, because even when you've got all the information, you know exactly, how many references they want and what supplementary materials they're looking for. There are still things that come up in the application. You're going to wonder, but what are they looking for here? What does the director want to see in this section of the application? You can rely on suggestions and tips and advice from other, usually students. That's who students usually tend to ask, is other students who are also trying to figure out the same process and how it applies to their situation. And of course, every student's situation is unique, and that needs to be considered in creating your own application. And then you can just do the guessing, talk to others, and cross your fingers that your application is the best it can be. That when you hit submit, you've covered everything and you've crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's, only given them what they want, not a smidge more, not a smidge less, and just hope for the absolute best. And that kind of feels a little bit like this.
Going to the botanical gardens by myself? What am I gonna walk around and admire the cherry blossoms alone like some pervert?
I mean, why? Why would you go through DICAS alone when you don't have to? Lots of students do. I realize that that is, for some, the best way that they can get their application together. They might not know of resources that are out there, or the resources available might not be a good fit for them. But I'm hoping that you will also consider option 2, which is to complete your application with some insider guidance. Hear from a DI director about exactly what directors want to see. Get all the guidance you need about how your unique situation, your types of experience, your maybe family elements that you're wondering, how does this even work? If you've got just those questions in your mind about, this is what I'm going through. I don't know how that matches up in DICAS or what it will look like when I'm in an internship. Get the guidance you need to talk that out and do the brainstorming and get the perspective of someone who has not only worked with applications, I've also worked with interns. I worked with interns for 6 years in the internship. So seeing all of their situations as they were going through rotations as well, I have a lot of perspective to share that way. And then with that insider guidance, you can submit an application that you know will stand out. Not only will it represent you, it will shine in all the right ways that shows how you are the best fit, even from other applicants to the same program. So last year I worked with Kendra, not last year, last match. So she matched in the spring 2021 match. She matched in that match. She actually did match to the USU DI, which is awesome. And we worked in the personal statement workshop. And then I also did an application review for her. Those were two different things that she decided were the right sets of guidance for her. So we worked through basically her entire application, and she matched to her first choice, even after kind of making some last minute decisions of where she would apply. She applied to more than just USU, and figuring out, she needed to take some different angles on like her personal statement as she created different versions for each program that she was applying to. She had specific elements from her experience that she wanted to show up in specific personal statements. So we worked together to make sure that everything that she had to offer really shone through in all the words that she put into her application and everything that she put together. And I was so excited when she matched to USU because that was her top choice as well. So this summer, I am dropping the live application creation course. Again, not the official name, unless I just take forever to pick a name. I'm still hemming and hawing over a few. But this is the first time I've ever offered a live course that covers the entire DICAS application and gives you basically all the guidance I could possibly offer from my perspective as a DI director. This is, from what I can tell, I've done some research, and this is the only live and living online course covering the entire DICAS application for dietetic students specifically in just 12 weeks. So you can submit an application that stands out. I know there are other courses out there. I know there are other guidance options out there who can share perspective and help with putting your application together. This is the only one I know of that has a former DI director that has the set 12 weeks where you will have live access the whole time. I'll explain what the living part of the course is in just a minute, but as far as I know, this is pretty much a one-of-a-kind course, and I'm so excited to be the one offering it this summer. So here's what you can accomplish in this course, and again, this is in 12 weeks. You can select the program or programs that will be a good fit for you, so you know where to apply and which programs you want to be in touch with throughout the process. You can communicate with directors to get the information you need and establish that connection with them, regardless of, even if you have questions, just making sure that you reach out to them in some way. I'll help you highlight your experience from any setting that you've ever been in for work or volunteer positions and help you focus on what you will bring into the dietetics profession. You'll be able to write a clear and complete set of answers for each of the personal statement questions. There are 5 questions. Some programs add a question or two to that list, and getting your answer complete and clear to the point and doing it all in the 1,000 word limit that you have is doable, and even easier when you've got someone to help you. You'll be able to prepare any supplementary materials that you need to, depending on what the program is asking for, obviously. Every program may or may not have supplementary materials, and they may ask for different things. But we can make sure that it all comes together in a way that complements the application you've put together in DICAS. You'll be able to identify and prepare your references and the people who support you and will be contributing to your application, because unfortunately, you can't even do it just by yourself. There's always a portion that someone else has to complete on your behalf. And in the end, you will have confidence in yourself. You will have confidence in your goals and how your application is going to represent you to program directors, especially if a program doesn't have interviews or something like that as part of their application review process. The packet that you submit in DICAS is their entire introduction to you, to what you've done to get to this point, to who you are, and to the intern you have the potential to be. So you want to make sure you get that right. You don't want to be making guesses and crossing fingers for something like this. So here is kind of the layout for the 12-week course. You can see it's pretty. These weeks are like simple in their titles, like, okay, week 2, we're going to talk about your experience, which means your work and volunteer experience, but it's going to cover everything you need for that entire section of DICAS. Any questions that might come up and details and insights and perspective I can share to make sure that that section of DICAS you go through it, you complete it, you don't have any lingering questions or wonderings after that. The personal statement workshop is included in those who enroll for the live course. That will be held in July, and it will correspond with weeks 3, 4, 5, and 6 of this live course. So those are the weeks that have the stars. Don't worry, because you can see that weeks 3 and 4 are only personal statements. So those will only be the corresponding information in the personal statement workshop. Week 5 and 6, there are some additional things you'll work on just to make sure we can get through your entire DICAS application in the 12 weeks we have, but you won't feel overwhelmed or extra pressure or anything that it's too much to take on. It will all be very well paced and very doable as far as the amount of information that's covered. Weeks 5 and 6 are a little bit lighter information, so you can do it at the same time as doing things in the personal statement workshop as well. And then you can just see everything else that is going to, show up. Week 9, application extras, that's going to cover everything. You have to make a video, you have to make a handwritten letter, you have to create an e-portfolio, your program has an interview, you have to find preceptors. Some of those might apply to some students or just some programs, but everything you need for any of those supplementary extra items will be covered. And everything else, obviously, there's a lot to this application, and it will all be done within these 12 weeks. So the live course will be starting on June 21st, and the 12 weeks will end on September 10th. So it starts on a Monday and it ends on a Friday. And if you're doing quick math in your head, that is 2 weeks before the fall match deadline of September 25th. So even if you finish the course, you go through the entire course, you're not going to be up against a time crunch of any sort, because if you keep on pace with the entire course, you can have everything done by September 10th. That's 2 weeks to spare. That is awesome to have that time frame. You can submit early, or you can take that time to just comb through everything really carefully, maybe get a few other eyes on your application. You're not going to be pressed for time between the end of the course and the DICAS deadline, because that would be super unfair if I was like, well, we end the course on September 24th, and then I hope your application is done and that you didn't fall behind because the application's due on the 25th if you're doing a fall match. That would be incredibly rude. I'm not that type of guide. I want to help you feel comfortable and confident with everything you're working on, so you'll have that 2-week cushion of time between the course ending and the application deadline. But that's only if you're in the fall match. I mean, you could do this course even if you are looking ahead at the spring 2022 match, and then you've got months to spare. So plenty of time to add any finishing touches to your application that you would need to after the live session is over. So this is a live course. A live course meaning you are not going to be working on your application alone. This is not, here's all the information, sort through it, figure it out, read it, do it yourself. I will be part of the course too. I will be there live throughout the whole 12 weeks. That will include weekly live Q&A sessions for the group. So whatever information drops that week would be available on a Monday, and then another weekday, we would have a live Q&A session. So as you've gone through that, as you've been, using whatever is covered that week and putting it together in your DICAS application, you have a question that comes up. You're not sure how your experience or situation fits into what we're working on. Bring it to the live Q&A session. I'll share my perspective, and we can chat through anything that anyone is wondering about or just trying to figure out what it means for their application. I will be there with you for that live portion. I will also be giving weekly email reminders, so you know exactly what's coming up, exactly what we're working on, and exactly where you should be if you want to be on pace with the course as it is set up. But again, that's not a requirement necessarily. You do have 2 weeks after if you're going to the fall match, and several months after if you're going to the spring match. Okay, this is also a living course. I want this course to be flexible. That's an important word we talked about, and adaptable to become what you need it to be. That means if I cover a section, I'm just going to pick one, experience. Week 2 was experience. If we get to the experience week and I've provided all the resources, I've given you the videos and the tools that I've prepared ahead of time, we do the live Q&A, and you're just like, I don't understand. I need more details about this piece of my application. I'll update the course. I'll throw in another video that covers more info, that clarifies details as needed. I don't want you to be left thinking, I watched the movie, I looked at the application, I went to the Q&A, I even asked Nicole a question, and I still don't know what's going on. I'm missing a piece. If there's a missing piece, you get to tell me about it, and I will create the piece and fit it in so you've got all the information you need. I don't want this course to be something that kind of fills in the gaps and sort of gets you across, this path from A to B. I want it to be able to take you all the way and that you're not worried. Did I miss a step? I mean, I think I understood it, but there was that one lingering question. No, there will be no lingering questions. The course will be updated for whatever you need it to cover if I've left something out or haven't just covered in enough detail. So this is what you'll get in the course. You'll get a whole set of tools. Every tool I've created so far, the application prep workbook that takes you also through the whole DICAS application. That will be especially helpful since DICAS is closing it'll actually be closed when the course starts for a couple of weeks as it's moving things around between the spring and fall matches. You can use that workbook to make sure you still got all the information and you're ready to put stuff into DICAS as soon as it opens up again. You won't be behind at all. You'll get the personal statement sample pack, which gives you 2 examples of personal statements so you can see what it looks like to have a complete personal statement. You actually get to see the whole editing process from, I think, 1,400 words to less than 1,000. So you can see how details are edited to make sure that everything is clear and complete. You get the resume sample pack, which shows you multiple versions of resumes, both pre and post internship, and also different page lengths. And like I said, you'll be automatically enrolled in the personal statement workshop, which is 4 weeks focusing on the personal statement to make sure you have the whole thing covered, since that tends to be a pretty big part of the application. You'll get insights from my perspective as a DI director. 12 weeks of online content covering the entire DICAS application. That includes the weekly live group Q&A sessions, and I will be providing DICAS tutorials for each application section, so you don't have to just figure stuff out when DICAS opens. Again, since DICAS will be closed, you can watch the tutorials so you don't lose any time when it opens again, and you get in there for the first time, or maybe the first time in just a long time, and you're like, I don't even remember where stuff is or what I need to do. The tutorials will help you prepare for that. And then updates. I'll be sharing weekly email reminders and tips so you can stay on top of things. And then I'll update the course as needed so you get what you need to get through your application with confidence. So here's the value of the live course. Let me put this, I'm going to put this URL in the chat. So anyone who wants to can just follow it directly. I have to type it because I can't copy from my PowerPoint. Should have copied it before if I had been smart. Okay. So the URL is in the chat if you would like to look at that. But here's everything you get in the live course with the $sign of the value of that item attached to it. So the whole course, if I just charge for the dollar value of what you get, is $1,500. Now, I actually know that is not the most expensive type of guidance you can seek out for dietetic internship application help, but I feel like that's pretty pricey. I know that you're students. I know that you're going into an internship that is likely to be unpaid, and I know that can feel like a really crappy financial situation to be in. So my promise is to under promise and over deliver, and to make it very worth your while and worth the $sign on the course. So the price for this course is $546. It includes everything. It includes the tools. It includes the live interactions. However, since this is, as I said, the first time a course like this has ever been offered, it's the first time I've offered a course like this, it's important that anyone who's in the founding members group doesn't, I'll be honest, the people in the founding members group are kind of going to be like a little bit of guinea pigs. I've never done this before. I'm completely confident in the information I can provide, but the first time through, might not be as smooth as like the second or third time through the course. And I don't want that to decrease the value of what you're paying for. So there's a 20% discount for anyone who becomes a founding member, meaning you join by June 20th, 2021. You're with us on day one, and you will get everything for the amazing price of $436.80, because that is 20% of the actual price. There is a payment plan available if you want to spread that out across 3 months. All of the payment plan links and things like that are in the URL that I put in the chat box, so go ahead and follow that. There's also an option to add one-on-one guidance to the course. So the course has all the stuff I just mentioned: the live interaction, the tools, the content, the modules, the Q&As and things like that. If you want additional help with your specific situation and you want my eyes on your application, doing a thorough review and giving you specific feedback on what's already working really well on your application and improvements that can be made to make sure it really stands out, that option is available as well. It's the same URL, so follow that link in the chat. There is limited availability for this added one-on-one guidance, simply because I'm just one person. I cannot look at every single person's application and feel like I could do the job that it deserves. So there is limited availability for this. You want to get in on it if this is something you're looking for. But the value of all of this, if we take that $1,530 that the course has, add on all this weekly one-on-one calls, so you and I can chat just with us. It's not with the group in Q&A. We can talk about what you need for your situation. Personalized email reminders, keeping you on track for your application, not just on track for the course itself. And then a thorough review of every part of your application that you're putting together. It's $28.85. Now, I do know that's more expensive than other one-on-one options that are available. Again, I want to underpromise and overdeliver, and undercharge and overdeliver. So the price for the additional, for the live course plus the one-on-one guidance is $996. And the founders option still applies to the live course portion of that price. So the founding members discount for the live course plus one-on-one guidance is $886.80. And there is a payment plan available for that as well. And I think that's a really good deal compared to other stuff that is out there. So I can't make the decision for you. You have to decide if that's a good fit. But a couple of things that might be on your mind. It doesn't matter how much it is compared to any other availability that's out there. What if you just change your mind? You register, you drop the money, you change your mind, you want a refund. For the first 14 days of the course, you can get a refund. You can get the information that's in those first 2 modules and see how the course is set up, if that's a good fit for you. If you like my style, like if you have good feelings about this webinar, you'll probably have good feelings in how I do in the course, but maybe you change your mind 10 days in and you want out, you can do that. You will have access to the course modules and recordings for 12 months. So it doesn't matter if you're applying in this fall match or next spring match. If you get the course, you'll have access to it even after the 12 weeks of the live portion is up. You'll have access to the content. I'll be recording the weekly Q&As. You'll get access to the tools and all of that. It's not going to be taken away just because you applied at a later match instead of the one that's immediately after the course. You will have access to all of that, so you can still refer to it. I'm going through these kind of quick because I think I'm already way over time than I anticipated. I apologize. If you won't be able to attend one of the days or weeks of the live course schedule, that's okay. Everything will be recorded. All the live Q&As will be recorded and made available in the course. Everything, the videos and modules that I put together will be accessible in the course as soon as they drop. You'll have access to them for the duration of the course. And asking about whether or not your application will be reviewed as part of the live course itself. The live course alone does not include an application review. If you're looking for that, you would want to get the live course plus the one-on-one guidance. And, okay, I'm gonna go through this really fast. Here's the comparison of the live course plus the one-on-one. Here are the prices again. You can purchase through that link in the chat or just go look through it. There's more information on that webpage. and a larger FAQ section if you're just like, I need to think about it because money doesn't grow on trees, turns out. So I'm hoping that with those insider insights, you are sure to stand out.